Hello and welcome to the channel. It's Jorge Santiago from JBRfishing. So we find ourselves today in Lake Belton, up here in the heartland of Texas. Let me show you the view over here. So what we're gonna do today is that we're gonna see what we could do in reference to fishing bluffs. Okay, we're gonna try and fish some bluffs, but the major thing is that we're gonna use the best tag team in bass fishing, and it's the Mega Live along with the Mega 360. So I'm gonna go through the settings, the update for the Mega 360. I tried to do the update, but I had, like I mentioned before, I had technical issues with the camera. For some reason, it didn't record when I did the update for the Mega Live. But what's gonna happen now is that I'm getting ready to put the boat in. I'll show you guys the update, how to do the update for the Mega 360. Then from there, go in. Let me get this on the proper view here for the Mega 360s out of the water. Show you how to do the updates, run through the updates. Then I'm gonna go through some settings for the Mega 360. There's different settings that it all depends on the lake, of course. Depending on the lake that you're at, and the clarity of the water. If the water is very clear, you want more sensitivity. If the water is a little bit more dirty, more muddy, then you want less sensitivity. And the reason for that, people say, well, I want it more sensitive when I have clear water. Well, the reason for that, but when it's clear, you want a lot of sensitivity. When it's muddy or dirty, you don't want a lot of sensitivity, because when you add that sensitivity, what you're gonna do is that all you're gonna do is attract all that extra particles, and then your screen is going to be all dirty, and that's what you're going to see. It's going to be hard to distinguish the fish from the other particles in the water. So that's the reason why, and that's a question that Benny asked. Why do you want more sensitivity when it's clear? When if it's clear, then it's clear. It should be easy to see. The sonar should be easy to go through the water. You shouldn't be so sensitive. Well, that's the reason why. When it's sensitive, you add more sensitivity. That way you could see more because it's clear. But when it's dirty, you don't want it as sensitive, because all you're going to do is see more particles than what you really want to see. Okay, so without further ado, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the boat in. And I'm gonna go through the settings. I'm gonna do the update for the firmware on the Mega 360, and then we're gonna go check out some bluffs. We're gonna check out some bluffs on the 360, how they look like, and we're gonna check out some bluffs with the Mega Live to see how they look like. See if we find some fish, and see if we could catch them on on a jig and some soft bait. See you then. Okay, so we're over here in our spot right now. So what we did right now was that we inserted the card, and let me see, nothing came up right now. Well, it came up and it went away, and I wanted to show you guys. It said the card is encrypted, and I'm waiting for I have the instructions here. I left the paper in the truck, and it should recognize the card. It hasn't given me the options to select yes or no. Well, I honestly don't know what happened there. I'm gonna have to review the instructions and get back with you on that one. We might have to install the update later. So right now, as you can see, you saw the bluff, and let's see how it looks like on the Mega Live. Let me see. That's how that looks like there. Okay, so I'll help you dial up these settings. Be quiet, Max. Okay, you see fish right here. See fish there, fish down here swimming. so you can see them. Let me see. That's how the bluff looks like. See that peak? That's where we were at. You see how sharp it is right there? I'll share the settings with you as soon as I get to an area the way it's not, the wind doesn't, I could hold the boat still. Let me head off to the other side. Maybe I could do something a little bit better over there where the wind could protect me more. Maybe another cove. Okay, so I'll see you in a bit. Humminbird, they hit the ball out of the ballpark with this one. As you know, Mega Live is in its infancy right now, and it's been out for barely a year, and they just did the first firmware upgrade, and it's only going to get better. It's only going to get better. These are I'm going to share my settings. You can see I'm on the Mega 360. Let me see. I just went over some structure that was so clear, that was unbelievable, but I just went over it. But let's head over to the other side, and that way you guys could see what I see, and we could sit and chat for a little bit. Okay, this is what the bluff wall looks like. This the wall right here on my left. That's right there. So I got it on spot lock right now, but the 360 since it stays still, so it should be good. You should be able to see that bluff wall right here. See if you can see some fish over here. Let me see. I'll clean this up a little bit. See. That might be a fish there. That might be a fish here. You can tell the boat doesn't move much, and you can see the structure. If that spot is not there anymore, then it swam off. It was a fish. And that's how you learn to recognize fish. You stay in the spot, and if it's not there anymore, see, it's not there anymore. That's the little wiggly lines. It's not there, so it was a fish. So now you could tell you learn to differentiate what's a fish and what's not a fish when it comes to on the 360. Keep in mind, I have this at 80 feet out. I like mine at 20 feet intervals. And by the way, you see this black spot right here? This doesn't mean that this is 20 feet away. This is smack the edge of, right? This is the front, this is where the trolling motor is. That's not the tip of the boat, and the boat is back here. That is where the trolling motor is at. That's where the transducer is located at. All this spot right here, this is the water column underneath the transducer. Okay, that's the water column under the transducer. So this right here, this edge is the edge right under the transducer. So you count from here out is how many feet that structure is. So this is not 20, 40, 45 feet or 44 feet. It's actually, this is 20, so it's not 20. So let's say another 5 feet. So we're at, what's the depth here? 23 feet. 23 feet here. So we're at 23 feet. So 23. So that's 17 feet. So we're about 20 feet to that structure there. So that's how you gotta do that math and that. So many people have the misconception that, okay, this is the front of the boat. The tail of the boat is back here. I mean, that's the front, that's the back of the boat right here. And this is 20 feet. No, it's not 20 feet. You have to count. This is the water column underneath the transducer. Okay, so you see the bluff wall. This is black. I mean, this is hard surface right down here. You see the rocks come down. Okay, see that right there. So let me see. So right now my Mega Live is pointing offshore. Let me see if I could get something here. There you go. Let me see if I could troll around here. That way maybe we could find some fish. Okay, so let me give you a little bit of content of what happened. I know you see different clothes. I was at the lake yesterday, and I started off trying to get a video together, trying to give you some settings on the Mega 360 and give you some settings on the Mega Live and how to use them together as a tag team. It is the best the best thing out there when it comes to two different products that you could use in unison to be able to catch fish and be productive. Unfortunately, it was extremely windy. It was blowing north. It was wind blowing south to north, and it was blowing at 20-25 mile per hour winds. So at one point I couldn't control the boat on one side, so I went over to the south side, went to a cove in the south side, and everything was fine there. So when I started putting out the content, unfortunately we had some jet skis coming around and causing a lot of wake, and so I had to cut a lot of that off, and I couldn't stay in that general area any longer. So I started bouncing around from cove to cove to cove, and I started running into the same issue. As I move out, I ran into wake boats, and I went into the coves, I ran into jet skiers. So unfortunately, the video did not come out exactly the way that I wanted to, and the way that's going to benefit everybody. But I did capture quite a few recordings on Mega Live that I'm going to share with you. It's going to show you a lot of it is on spot lock, but I'm stopping the video and recording it with the GoPro. That way you can actually see the imagery. I am going to share the new the information on the lake. Of course, it was Lake Belton. The clarity of the water was between 1 and 2 feet. So keep that in mind, that you have to adjust your settings when things happen like that. As I mentioned before at the beginning of the video, when the water is dirtier, you have to reduce the sensitivity. Okay, you have to reduce the sensitivity and up the contrast. And if you feel like it, you might have to bump down the dynamic contrast and bring it down a little bit to number 1, or maybe take it off. Who knows? It's going to be depending on your body of water. And so I had to adjust. So the settings that I shared on the last video are settings when you have like about 5 feet, 7 feet almost. You got quite a bit of visibility. So the settings work for that type. And the water temperature was about the same. The water temperature was in the high 60s, low 70s. So the water temperature stood the same. So you got that working for you. Unfortunately, the water clarity on this lake, this body of water, was a lot murkier. So I dipped a chatterbait in white, dropped it down, and I lost it. As soon as I hit over 1 foot, I couldn't see it anymore. That's how it was. So what I did was that I was catching. I was using the X Zone True Stick, and I was using it in green pumpkin, and I was using it in, it was a dark color. I forgot what was the dark color. It was blue with black, blue and blue flakes. I think it was a black and blue flakes. And I was using the Quiver, missile Quiver, the 6.5 and 6.5, and I was using them in whacking rig on both of them. And that's how pretty much I caught the fish that I caught today. And I'm pretty sure that you already seen them in the pictures that I put in there. And I caught them off steep banks. Some of them were, the bluff, the bank comes down, it just drops down to like right at the bank. That's down to 20, 25 feet, 30 feet. Some of them dropped even further. It's straight walls. I did some fishing at some very high bluff walls that went up like about 30, 40, 50 feet up high. And believe it or not, it's kind of strange. There were some houses out there, and I should have recorded. I don't know why I didn't record it. And they were fishing from the fence, and it was kind of crazy. And I was trying to flip to it, but they were casting to where I was, and I'm like, okay, I can't stay here either. So that's the battle that I had yesterday. So, and I didn't have a chance to close out the lake. It was kind of frustrating. So the day went a little bit south. So, and I just got on the boat and head to the dock and loaded up the boat and came back home. But you know, overall, you know, I did catch a couple of fish, a few fish, and at least I'm going to share some valuable information. That way you guys could set up your settings when it comes to lakes with that murky water. Okay, so when you record on Mega Live, you gotta remember that when you're gonna play it back, you gotta play it back on the simulator mode. So what you do to play it back, you hit menu. You go. Matter of fact, I'm gonna show you the settings that I had to come up with for yesterday. I had a sensitivity on 6 and I had a contrast at 9 in order for this to work right. I left it at contrast, then I made contrast 2. Okay, so what I did was over here, you go down to Mega Live. On a helix, you hit it to the right. Everything is recorded on the card number 1. The recording that I have, I think, is on 2. Then you go down on 1, and you go down once. You hit start playback, and there it goes. So that's one here. And I'll show you some fish over here. Let me see if they come up. You got to keep in mind that when they're further than 40, 50 feet, the fish are going to show up as lines. See, these are fish. As they get closer to the transducer, you're gonna be able to see tail fins, and you know you're not gonna see exactly that, but you're gonna be able to tell, and you're gonna see that very clear pretty soon. Like this fish over here, you can see it getting better and better as it is, and you see them forming little by little, and you can see them move. You see this one down here? You can see it start moving. You could tell it's a fish. There's a little bait ball on this side over here. And you can see this fish. You can see it close as it is, and you can see the tail fin. See, that's the setting that I had to get that clarity there. So now keep in mind that what I had was, anyway, I don't think I had more than, I didn't have 2 feet of visibility. I dropped a white chatterbait swim jig. You see this fish right here, how clear it was? You have this fish here. This is boulders here. I didn't have 2 feet of visibility. I dropped a white, actually I had the Queen Tackle switchblade bladed jig, and I had one in white. I think it's Glimmer Blue Shad, and I had the KC Camo. But this lake is very pressured. It's very pressured. You know, there's boats all over the place. There's fishing all over the place. This is close. This is it's very close to Fort Hood. Fort Hood has a lot of outdoorsmen and women, and there's a very recreational lake. You got wakeboards, you have wake boats, you have skiers, you have everything out there on the lake, everything. So you have to, yesterday was nice. It was a nice day, but it was windy. But you had everybody out there, and you could almost walk from one side to the other on a lake, from boat to boat. So let me see, let me go back, stop that one. Let me see if I could go to, let me see this one here, if that one has something on it. See, that's the fish here. You saw that? That's bait fish. You saw that fish here. So you can see fish out there with these settings. You know, it doesn't matter the clarity of the water, so you'll be able to see what you need to see. This fish, you saw that fish pop up. I'm on spot lock, so I'm right now I'm battling the wind and everything else. See, that's the fish right there. You can see it swimming. Now these numbers don't mean nothing. This is just because it's on simulator mode, so it's going to give you the thing. But the video is actually, you see the fish here? You see the tail fin? That's pretty clear. So you know the Mega Live is a good product. This is a slab of concrete. You can make it out. If you want to tweak it out, you could tweak it out, and it's gonna give you. You're gonna be able to see it, but that doesn't. But that might harm your visibility to finding fish. So you want to leave it in a good spot that you're gonna be able to find fish and make out what's at the bottom, the structure. Let's see if you see fish here. This is a boulder at the bottom. See this fish here, but I don't think that's bass. I think that was more like crappie. They're very small. Or small bass, you know. It could be small bass. They're not all piled up on top of each other. Let me see that one. What's here? I did record quite a few, so bear with me. Okay, you can see a brush pile over here. See a big fish under there swimming around. You see it right here? It's a big bass. So it could be, I don't know why. Well, I say bass. I'm gonna believe it's a bass. It could be catfish. It could be anything else, a striper or whatnot. That's a fish right here next to a boulder. That's there. More fish, see them swimming. So you can make them out. Let's see. All right, so I know that the video is not the best. It's not exactly what what we started with, but I try to give you everything that I could give you out there to make it more as productive as I can. And I'm sharing the settings that worked out for me out there. I did catch fish, so I did find fish, I caught fish, and that's the key point. Yeah, the point of everything is that you need to use it, make it work for you. It's a tool. It's a tool like anything else, you know. It's a tool, and you try to figure out, at least if you have a lake, if you're in a body of water that visibility is 1, maybe 2 feet, then these settings will probably be a good starting point for you. Okay, and then you could tweak it, and you know, at least I have it on the color palette 2. Now, you know, that's my preference. I use 2, and I use the blue one, and I've been experimenting with the black and white one as well. You know, I was in the Army and we use that out of black hot, white hot, so I'm used to those colors. So with that said, you know, hope you do like this video. Hope this serves you, serves the purpose and helps you out. If it does help you, share it with a friend. Share, put it on Facebook, share it with somebody, put it out there. I'm trying to get as many subscribers as I can. Right now, I gained double the subscribers that I had. I don't have much. My goal is to get, you know, at least over 4,000. So share it, subscribe, hit the like button, hit the notification button. That way, all those algorithms, you know, coincide and they help the channel out. The baits that I use are strictly from the tackle shop that I own. My son and I manage that tackle shop, so everything that I have there, you're gonna find it at JBRfishing.com. Right now, like I mentioned before, we have missile baits, we have X-Zone, we have Queen Tackle, we have VMC, we have Rapala, and we're working on other ones. Okay, so and we also have Terminator, and we have some frogs in there. We have spinner baits. Give us a like and go check it out. If you don't see something that you like in there, send us a message, you know, communicate with us. That way we could see what we could do in getting some of those products that you guys want. All right, so give us a like, subscribe, and share it. Until the next one.